My name is Danela, and I live in the south of Bosnia and Herzegovina, a place we tend to call the Balkan California. Summers here are unbearable, so the only smart thing to do during Bosnian summers is swimming in the coldest rivers possible, especially for someone who's heat intolerant, like, for example, me. I had suffered from derealization for almost 10 years, and 4 years ago, in attempts to try to help me heal, I moved to this beautiful mountain 30 minutes away from my city. I lived in my dad's mountain hotel for such a long time. At the beginning it was on and off, and then later I stayed for a year or two. Little did I know I'd meet the love of my life there. Sometime later, I left the mountain to move in with him. But guess where? Yet another countryside. I couldn't be happier, mainly because while I was living in my dad's hotel, I knew I couldn't keep going on like that forever. It would soon be time for me to move on, to find another place to live in all by myself, mainly because I missed solitude so much, and I had no idea how I'd make it possible for myself to live in another countryside in my own house. I wasn't ready for that. Kad idi u Aldine?
Pa znam, ali sad kad dođem.
Kad smo došli, ljubavi? Je.
Neka.
So what you saw right there is what we call such. Now, such in English, I have no idea. It's probably a traditional Bosnian meal. So in English, you would probably call it such too. It's basically a dish, bunch of potatoes, beef, cooked under hot coal, literally burning coal. It's so fascinating how in Bosnia, the food is so diverse. Now, at the same time, you, as someone who's living in Bosnia and who's been living in Bosnia for her whole life, I would sometimes call it not diverse, and I would lose my mind over how little options we have. But when it comes to food like this, countryside food, it's a different story. So if you come to Bosnia, if you travel to Bosnia ever, make sure you have the traditional countryside food. Yeah, now look at this view. Mashallah. What did I do to deserve this? What did I exactly do to deserve a place like this? I don't know. I mean, I wasn't ready to accept the fact that I was capable of making 40 to 50,000 euros to build me a little tiny off-grid house somewhere in the north of Bosnia. I wasn't ready to accept the fact that I was really capable of doing something like that. Because, you know, I would make thousands, but not tens of thousands. And I couldn't have pictured it back then. But I was capable. I proved it to myself later on. And the biggest problem here in Bosnia is that you don't really get to rent an off-grid house somewhere here because nobody rents them out. Everybody lives off-grid, but nobody runs businesses off-grid. So that's how we got to this new business idea. The house we're building for us right now, right here, is gonna be our house for 2 years. And later on, we're gonna turn it into an Airbnb, and that's it. We're gonna be the first ones in this village to rent out a full-blown, full-furnished Airbnb for people to enjoy the countryside life. So rental off-grid homes here in Bosnia are basically non-existent. You might find a few Airbnbs, but they're extremely expensive. And I'm not talking about this village, I'm talking about Bosnia and Herzegovina in general. Just a few off-grid homes that are extremely expensive to rent, and it wasn't a good idea for me back then to pay so much for such a thing. I didn't even have the money for such an expensive monthly rent. But I wasn't ready to give up yet. I was looking for ways to make 40 to 50,000 euros to build me a little place somewhere in North Bosnia, and then God sent Dinal my way. I fell in love and I was like, okay, I do not get to leave now. But Dinal was like, please move in with me. And at first, we spent a year in the city, after which we came back to his house in the countryside and moved in with his parents. That one, yeah. At first, when we got here, it was in the middle of the summer, and we got here just because we wanted to swim in the river and not stay in the city that was already feeling like hell, the deepest pits of hell. So we just wanted to avoid it and spend the summer here swimming, and we still kept paying our rent in the city, even though we stayed here with them. Little did we know, almost 3 years would pass and we're still here. Now, our house is being built right next to theirs. We got our land, our stuff. Bro! God will always have a better plan for you than you have for yourself. Trust me on that one. All of that still hadn't healed my derealization. My favorite YouTubers started suffering from derealization. That's as much as I noticed. And I just wanted to tell her that if I had only known that me causing myself to be derealized for 10 years would be the result of the short-term stress over short-term situations, I would have never agreed on it. There's no situation bad enough right now that deserves to pull you down the rabbit hole of derealization. Don't allow yourself to go down there. That's crazy, number one. If I had only known 10 years ago. But okay. I mean, think logically. You're just gonna lose. That's it. So I've been fighting through derealization for 10 years now, trying to get out of it. Wasn't worth it. But it was a good start. It was a good start to have people around you after 7 years of isolation that at the time felt really good, but now was agonizing. And to have something to do besides being by your desk, blankly staring at your laptop screen, thinking that's how your life would change. My father-in-law is building Mali a new doghouse. And it's funny how Mali in Bosnian means small, tiny, but he's actually the biggest dog that I have. Like, he's big, he's not tiny. So we're building a new house because the old one, he has just outgrown it. So of course, he needs a new one. So I was about to buy a new one, but my father-in-law was like, "Are you crazy? What do I look like to you?" So I'm like, okay, because, you know, to them, paying $150, euros, whatever you want, to buy a new doghouse is crazy, because that's half a salary here. I don't want to sound cocky or anything. I would just buy anything that I need to buy for my dogs or my child. Like, you know, that's who I am. It was kind of different while I was living with my parents, because they would neglect things so much. I just started living a life where I will never neglect a single thing. Okay, so yeah, he's building the house for Mali, and I tried helping him, but I feel so weak because my sinuses are literally suffocating me, and life is good. Life is good. We're still negotiating the price for our A-frame with those guys. I have learned how to save money, and now I don't want to just overspend on things that don't need overspending on. So also a lot of new pedo cases took place in my country, and I need to make a new YouTube video for my people on this other YouTube channel that I have, talking about it, because I feel like my other YouTube channel is just like a manual for people to use whenever they need something, whether that be how to save your kids from pedos, or how to enjoy life, or how to find a good man or a good woman, and how to create a good relationship or marriage. So just because I went through a lot of stuff in my life, I feel the only purpose of mine here in this country is to help others go through stuff. And this channel right here for the United States and for the rest of the world is basically just me enjoying my creativity. But the Balkan one, I will never be able to make a video like this for them, because I think it's a waste of time. They don't need this, they need help. Everything bad that happens, people in the Balkans think that it happens around the world, but not here. But when it started happening here, they can't take it in, so, you know, I need to be the one to tell them, you know, do the reality check for them. I'll do that. And then we'll go set the house for Mali. Yep, let's go. By the way, my father-in-law is gonna treat this as a new business, since he fell at work last year, broke his leg completely, and the company he worked for will not pay him out. They don't care. That's how life be here in Bosnia. So he was looking for a new job. I was like, what? You expect me and your both sons to allow you to work and you have us, number one? But he still is a very workaholic person, and he doesn't want us to bring the money into the house. He still wants to keep bringing money into the house. Real man. So I told him, why would you work for someone for 500 euros when you can make 500 euros by creating 2 of these little doggy houses here in the country? So I'm gonna help him start a business. It's gonna be fun! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. Oh no, they're not. Yo. Yo. Yeah. Oh my god, I just woke up, bro. Ja, jesi spreman ljubav moja moja. Bola. Nema veze. Ja!
I look out across.
The point of the whole story is, let God take the wheel. You'll save your mental health that way. Because if you knew what God knows, you'd never allow yourself to get sick over this earthly life anyway. Because it was meant to be good. Only if you allowed it to. Stressing over things equals to you not allowing good things to happen. Remember that, it's a choice. We are now going to go on with our countryside errands. We have walls to paint, cement to prepare, and you? I'll see you next week. Love, Danella.
Every time, but I've still got 10